Hey, I'm Bree from Handy Investor. I'm the director of Handy Investor Spending Planners. I became a spending planner in August 2016 because I was working in a real estate, I was running a real estate team who were teaching people how to invest in brand new property. And it was in a mortgage broking company. And we kept having all these clients come to us saying that they wanted to do property or they wanted to do something, and they'd worked really hard. They've maybe saved up 30,000. And then we talked to the banks and the banks say, look, you need to save up another 15,000. And they were giving up on what it is they were actually coming to us for because it got too hard. You know, they were maybe, living or scrimping and saving on baked beans and rice, and they were just sick of it. And they're like, oh, another 15,000, that's too hard, and giving up. And so I started to look for a solution to get people past that hump, past that it's too hard sort of mentality, to actually achieve what they came to us for. So I felt like we were doing them a disservice in saying, go away, save the rest of the money and come back. And so I started looking for a solution to that problem. It was how we got started. What it ended up being was so much more. We had people who came to us who had defaults in the past and were just getting on track to sort out those defaults and getting their life back in order, but didn't know how to then continue that momentum in a positive way and build actual savings. They were getting themselves out of debt, but they didn't know what to do from there. So that's when I realized that, this program, because of its forward thinking, is unlike anything else that we've ever done before or ever looked for. I spent 6 months looking for something before I actually found David's program. And all the others, there was nothing exciting about them. There was nothing that got me sort of wanting to do them. Until we found that, and we saw that they looked forward, and that's sort of how I work everything. We're always planning 5-10 years in advance, so this was perfect for us. So the things that I love most about being a spending planner is when we have people who are hesitant to start because it's something they've been putting off for a long time, burying their head in the sand, just didn't want to deal with it. When they come back to us and say, it's so much easier than I thought it would be. I wish I'd have done it sooner. It was almost too easy. Why did I make it seem so hard before? And it was just because they didn't know. And so it's that gap in education that we've got in our education system, where they don't teach you this at school, they don't teach you this anywhere else. And mum and dad may or may not have been good at it, but you've now got somebody who's actually teaching you a really well and efficient way of doing money and simplifying money for you. I had pretty much decided before, because I had a friend introduce me to it from a long time ago. She'd used the old software. And when she came and showed me the old software, I thought, it doesn't look very pretty, but I like the forward thinking idea. So when I spoke to David and he said that they were turning it into a cloud software, modern looking program, I thought, this is really interesting. I have to see this. And so before I even spoke to him, I had already decided that because they were again, it comes back to that forward thinking. Nobody else plans 12 months in advance with their spending or their budgeting or anything like that. So because I couldn't find anything else out there like that, I'd almost decided before I spoke to him that was what we were going to be doing. But then it was so much more than I expected it to be. The software itself, I had actually shopped around to look into doing the software myself. And building it because I couldn't find what I was looking for. And I was quoted something like 150,000 and 2 years to build this thing. And I'd met a financial planner who was already 2 years in and 300,000 down, and was still upgrading and changing his software. So when I thought we can get access for the software really affordably, and somebody else is sort of running all of that and doing all of that for us, this thing's worth its weight in gold. So I didn't really have any reservations about it. When I first started, I was concerned that it wasn't all that we thought it would be, but it is. It's become everything we thought it would be and more. I'm a bit of a workaholic, so becoming a spending planner and running my own business, being self-employed now, means that I actually reap all the rewards of what I do. Before I did this, I was running a team of real estate agents. It's an investment team a team of people who taught people how to invest. And I was working, you know, from 8 in the morning till 10, 11 o'clock at night, because I always treated other people's business like I was self-employed. I treated it like my own business, and I built all their businesses up. When I would start, it would just be me in sales. And by the time I would leave a company, there would be 3 or 4 sales staff. And I just would work myself to death and be getting these tiny little, you know, payments and things like that. It was on a good income, but, you know, I could see the boss was making all the money and doing none of the work. Honestly, they didn't even know what I was doing half the time. And so when I decided to start my own business, I really had no idea what I was getting into or what I was doing. But I knew that I'd built teams before and that I'd run teams and pretty much run a business before without doing the actual business side of it. So that gave me the confidence to do that. But the freedom that I have, I now work from home. I've got 5 kids. And if I'm getting stuck or getting overworked and my brain just needs a bit of a break, I'll just go and cook dinner, or I'll go and do something. I love cooking, so that's fun for me. That's not a chore. But I'll go and do something that breaks up my day but also helps my family. And my kids are, you know, anywhere from 7 to 18, and the youngest, he has autism. So they just needed me around a little bit more. And so I can be here, but I can also be working and doing the things that I love, because if I'm not working, I'm bored or I go stir crazy. So it gives me freedom to 10 o'clock in the day. If I want to, I'll go to the movies, because sometimes I'll work till 10 o'clock at night. Whereas when I worked for a boss, I felt like he was paying me a wage. And so I had to work. Even if I'd worked till 10 at night, I still had to be there the 9 to 5 because he was paying me to work. And so I didn't give myself permission to have that time off, or to give myself time. And so I would get myself burnt out and run out. Whereas now when I'm the boss, I don't feel that sense of responsibility to anybody else. If I need time or my family needs time, I give them that time. So that for me is one of the major benefits of running my own business. Do your homework. When you think about becoming your own business owner, it's not just a matter of jumping in and this is a fully created business that somebody's just handing you. It's not a franchise that somebody's just going to give you all of the stuff that you need and you just run it. You aren't an employee anymore. So you've got to make sure that you've got a business owner's mindset. You've got to make sure that you're thinking like somebody who's going to commit to running a business. If you speak to any business owner, they'll tell you that the first 12 months of starting up or setting up a business is very chaotic. So if you're going to get into this, give it 100% and commit to what it is you're actually doing. And if you're working while you're doing this, like I was, I started this in August and then didn't quit my job until January. So I was working full-time running a team and also building this business at the same time. And it was only when I decided that things were going to move forward and have momentum that it actually did. Before that, we were kind of treading water and we weren't getting very far with it. We were getting frustrated. But when we decided and committed to actually, this is going to happen, we're going to make this work, and we gave it full attention and all our energy, that's when we started to move forward really quick and progress really quick. So don't go into it thinking it's going to be easy, because nothing worth it is ever easy. But go into it thinking that you can do it, or knowing that you can do it and that you will do it if you put in the work. And then the rewards come later. I mean, it's so much easier for us now. We don't have to spend so much time building it, and we're a bit more established, so we have some freedom around it. But it definitely took some work to set it all up and get going. So be prepared for that.